Okay, let's talk about this feeling. Like you're pushing, really pushing hard, but still feel like you're stuck in the mud.
Yeah, like your brain's running on, I don't know, last decade's software or something.
Exactly. And it's 2025 now. Trying to operate like that today.
Yeah.
Well, it's like trying to stream 8K video on dial-up. It's just, it's not going to work.
It really isn't.
So welcome, everyone. You're listening to The Deep Dive. And today, we're really laser focused on getting you unstuck, giving you that mental edge you absolutely need right now.
Precisely. You've probably listened to self-improvement stuff before, maybe nodded along to some productivity advice.
Sure, we all have.
But today, we want to go a bit deeper. Think of this as your personal brain upgrade, getting you 2025 ready.
Ready to thrive, not just survive, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this crazy fast creator world.
That's the goal. Our mission here is to pull out the essential strategies, backed by, neuroscience, to help you actively rewire your thinking for success now.
And we promise by the end of this, you'll walk away with some serious tools. We're talking hyper-focus, ways to deal with that fear of visibility.
Which is huge for creators.
Totally. And even methods to program your brain for more automatic wins. Does that sound right?
That's exactly it. Let's dive in. So where do we even begin with this brain upgrade?
Yeah, we're step one.
Okay, step one is really fundamental. It's about understanding your mental capacity. There was this memory expert, Lorayne, fantastic way of putting it.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said there's no such thing as a poor memory, only trained or untrained ones.
Okay, trained or untrained, I like that.
And while he was focused on memory, the principle, it applies much broader. Think of your focus, your observation, even how you form habits. It's all like a muscle.
A mental muscle.
Exactly. You either actively train it, make it stronger, more adaptable, or, well, it weakens, it atrophies.
And letting that happen in 2025, that's a real liability. You just can't afford it.
No way. Not with a flood of information, the AI landscape, the competition for attention. You need to be sharp. Mental gaps, mental stumbles. They'll leave you behind.
Okay, so train the muscle.
Yeah.
How? What's the practical training?
Well, the great thing is our brains can change. Neuroplasticity, right? We can harness that. One really powerful technique is the daily 5-minute visualization.
Visualization. Okay, sounds a bit fluffy.
But it's not about just wishing. It's intentional. You vividly picture yourself succeeding. Specific scenarios. Immerse yourself in the details, the feeling of achieving it.
Feel the win.
Yes, and do it consistently, daily. This mental rehearsal, it literally strengthens the neural pathways linked to those outcomes, makes them more likely to happen.
Okay, didn't Elon Musk do something like this with rocket launches?
Exactly. He doesn't just hope for the best, he mentally simulates everything. Every stage, potential problems, the solutions, he's building that mental blueprint.
So we can do that too for our stuff, like a big presentation or launching a product.
Absolutely. Rehearse your wins, visualize that presentation going perfectly, see your creative work hitting the mark. Consistently doing that primes your brain. It lays down the tracks, makes moving towards your goals easier.
Right. Priming the pump. Okay, so takeaway 1, train the mental muscle daily with vivid visualization. Got it. What's the next piece of this 2025 brain puzzle?
The second key element, owning your power of observation. Lorayne nailed this too. He said, most people look but never see. Keen observation changes everything.
Look but never see. That hits home. We spend so much time looking at screens.
Exactly. Scrolling, scanning. But are we truly seeing? Observing the world around us?
Probably not as much as we think.
Yeah.
It feels like we're drowning in data but starving for actual insight. All that digital noise really dulls your ability to notice the important stuff.
And that ability, that keen observation, is becoming rarer, which makes it incredibly valuable. Seeing what others miss in 2025, that's a genuine competitive advantage, a superpower, like you said.
Okay, so how do we cultivate that superpower?
We need a specific habit. Let's call it the 2025 habit. Daily detail hunt.
Detail hunt. Tell me more.
Make it a conscious effort every single day. Find and maybe even jot down, say, 3 overlooked insights. Things others missed.
Like what kind of things?
Could be anything. Something subtle in a conversation. A small shift you notice in your industry trends. A pattern in customer feedback. The key is actively seeking these details.
So switching from passive receiver to active explorer.
Precisely. Stop letting the world just wash over you. Actively scan for those hidden signals, those nuances everyone else is too distracted to catch.
You know, it makes me think, how does just noticing little things actually lead to big results?
Well, think about someone like Alice Hormozy. People talk about his business acumen.
Yeah, he seems to spot opportunities everywhere.
Right. But is it some secret formula? Or is it that he has this incredibly sharp observation? He sees the subtle indicators, the gaps, the leverage points that others completely overlook. That's the edge.
Okay, that connects the dots. It's like becoming a detective for details that unlock opportunities. Makes a lot of sense. So train the muscle, sharpen observation. What's number 3?
Number 3 is about making things stick, especially your goals. We need to make them memorable. Lorrayne's insight here. Memory thrives on ridiculous associations.
Ridiculous associations. Funny stuff.
Exactly. Think about it. What sticks better? A dry fact or a totally bizarre, funny image linked to that fact?
Oh, definitely the weird image. It's like our brain flags it as important because it's unusual.
Precisely. Our brains love novelty and absurdity. And think about 2025 AI handles routine stuff. Our value is in creative, strategic thinking. That often means making new connections.
And ridiculous associations help forge those connections.
They make them stronger, more memorable. So the action plan here involves injecting this ridiculousness into how we remember our goals.
Okay, how do we do that practically?
There's a fun little pre-bed practice you can try. Just before you sleep, take your top 1 or 2 goals for the next day. Then link them to the most vivid, absurd, maybe even silly mental images you can conjure up.
The more outlandish, the better.
Absolutely. Go for it. Let's say your goal is to outline that new project tomorrow.
Okay.
Instead of just thinking outline project, picture yourself, I don't know, wrestling a giant, fluffy project outline.
Wrestling it.
Yeah. And it's trying to fly away on huge butterfly wings, and you're trying to pin it down with an oversized, maybe rainbow-colored pen.
Slight chuckle.
Okay.
That's vivid and definitely ridiculous.
See? The sillier, the more it stands out, the more unforgettable it becomes. It gives your brain these little mental hooks.
Mental Velcro patches. I love that. It actually sounds like it would work. Okay, so train, observe, make it ridiculous. What's the final key for this brain upgrade?
The final piece, and maybe the most foundational, is about habits. Lorayne was blunt. Habit is memory break the cycle or be its prisoner.
Oof. Prisoner of habit. That sounds grim, but it's probably true for many of us.
Our daily routines, the things we do on autopilot, they are deeply ingrained neural pathways. They are a form of memory.
And sometimes those autopilot settings are not great. Endless scrolling, putting off the important work, reacting instead of creating.
Yeah, those become the defaults. And in this creator economy, in 2025, those failure habits aren't just minor flaws. They can seriously hold you back. Habitual procrastination. That's an economic issue now.
Wow. Okay, so how do we break free? How do we escape being prisoners of these bad habits?
The action plan here is focused but powerful. Ruthlessly identify just one failure habit each week.
Just one. Not trying to change everything at once.
Oh, just one. Focus is key. Identify it, then consciously, deliberately replace it with a better, more productive behavior. Small, consistent shifts.
Okay, that feels more manageable. Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's invent an entrepreneur, Zara. She realizes her first hour is lost to just consuming content, social media, news, emails, instead of creating.
A very common habit.
Very. So she identifies that as her one habit for the week. She decides to replace that consumption hour with 1 hour of focused content creation. Just that one change.
And what happens?
Over a few weeks, maybe a month, that consistent shift starts to compound. She sees her output increase, her brand grows, her momentum builds, all from changing that single keystone habit.
That's powerful. It's not about a massive life overhaul overnight. It's about strategically targeting those key negative habits and swapping them out.
Exactly. It's about regaining conscious control over the automatic behaviors that are literally shaping who you are and what you achieve.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful. Let's try and wrap this up. If you're out there listening, feeling stuck, feeling like you're pushing a boulder uphill,
Yeah, that feeling.
remember this. It might not be about effort. It might be your mental operating system, your brain's wiring is still set for a previous era.
And the people really crushing it in 2025, they aren't just working harder, they're actively upgrading that mental software.
Right. They're training their focus muscle, like we talked about, sharpening their observation skills.
Seeing what others miss, making their goals sticky and unforgettable with those ridiculous associations.
Mental Velcro. And consciously identifying and breaking those failure habits. replacing them.
It's an active process of rewiring, building a brain that's fit for purpose right now.
So here's something to leave you with, something to really KO on.
Yeah.
What's just one small mental circuit, maybe one habit, one way of thinking that you can start consciously rewiring starting today?
Good question. What's one tiny shift you can make right now to better align your brain with the success you actually want for your future? To start building that 2025 ready mind?